Breakfast of champions, M&Ms and coffee. I want to talk about something I think is really awesome in the weapons industry, right? It's a hammerless revolver. Really easy to conceal, completely lethal, totally reliable. You know, there's nothing like a hammerless revolver. This is my Smith & Wesson model 940. It's a 9mm, comes with full moon clip, so it holds all 5 rounds at a time, which I actually like better than a speed loader. I bought this revolver when I was still working in SWAT. I used to carry it in when we do some kind of covert things, like I staged being a homeless guy. We were having homeless guys getting robbed, and I would carry it in my jacket pocket. Still had a, semi-auto pistol underneath my jacket and magazines, high capacity stuff in case of a long shootout. But hammerless revolvers are so great for point blank up close fighting. And I've talked about it so many times, so I'm going to show a couple things. We're going to cut to another video where we're going to show how to shoot more accurately at distances with a hammerless revolver. But really they're not made for that. When people talk about hammerless revolvers and the beauty of them, the thing is that they're made for point blank, right? They're made for where you're going to get robbed from. Most people aren't going to rob you from a hilltop. It's going to be point blank distances. And there is no weapon system that's going to work as easily and function as well as a hammerless revolver. And the reason is that they're made that way. You know, they're contoured, they're smoothed edged, there's no hammer to catch on material. And it's those kind of things that allows you to place this kind of weapon system into a pocket where nobody knows that you're even armed, and you can fire it until that gun is out of ammunition. People say, well, how would you train for that? Well, you know, there's several things that you can do. I mean, honestly, you can simulate they're in a pocket and shoot, but within about a foot or 2 feet, I think most likely just about anybody's going to strike. I put a couple videos out too how I thought that a hammerless revolver is the best gun to get initially for your first gun if you're thinking of self-defense. And that's because the vast majority of people will never be in a defensive shooting. It still reinforces you with confidence that you've got a firearm. And at close distances, it is, in my mind, still the best fighting weapon system out there because there is no chance of a snag. And if you get up close and fighting, you're probably going to utilize a contact wound, which is pressing the barrel into the body of the bad guy while you're fighting. Now, if you do that with a semi-automatic pistol, it's going to push the slide back, it's going to disengage, and the gun won't fire. Also, there's no chance of you dropping a magazine in a scuffle with somebody like you can with a semi-auto gun. So overall, I tell people that if you want a defensive weapon that you'll always carry, this gun's a little heavier because it's stainless steel. But actually, even my wife carries a lightweight aluminum 11-ounce revolver. And I mean, you load that up, you can drop it in a purse or in a pocket, and it doesn't even tug your jacket down, it's so lightweight. And that thing is totally lethal. Anyway, let me have a couple drinks of my coffee, then we'll walk over to the range, and I'll kind of show you how you can shoot these more accurately than people think you can, and it doesn't take a lot of training. So for firing accurately at distances, right, this gun isn't really made for distances. A lot of times I see people say, you know, I bought that revolver, especially women. I think for women, especially like real estate agents or women that are doing something where people are in close proximity, this type of weapon system is the ultimate weapon system for you because you can carry it, especially in its lightweight form, inside of your clothing or a bag, and if somebody grabs a hold of you and you're in a fight for your life, you've got a really lethal weapon. But when people start talking about distances or shooting, they say, you know, I hate that gun. I've had women say, you know, I shot one, I didn't like it. Well, they're short barreled. And if you got a .357 Magnum and you're shooting magnums out of it and you're trying to shoot 20 yards and trying to hit accurately, you're gonna hate the gun. That's not what hammerless revolvers are about. Are they capable of that? Yes, they are. When my eyes were a little better, unfortunately I'm falling apart with age, but I used to be able to shoot 50 yards on a silhouette with this without missing. It doesn't take a whole lot, and I'm going to show you the secret for distances. Also, when people say that it's no good for that, you have to utilize this weapon system for what it's for, and that's close quarters. So when I were to train women with this type of weapon system, we would get adrenaline flowing, right? Some exercise, some wind sprints, and get very close to a target, and then fire this weapon system close. That's what this is about. This is about close quarters fighting and survival. That's what you want a hammerless revolver for, especially that can be fired underneath clothing or inside of bags or purses or anything else that you have. For distance though, I want to show you what I call the sweet spot. I'm going to move forward to the camera and see if you can hear this. There's a sweet spot on every revolver, and the more you train with it, you learn it without any bullets in the gun initially, you'll hear the gun click, which means that the revolver has revolved all the way around and it's just short of firing. When you find that spot and keep training with it, just keep checking it, no rounds in the gun, you'll get used to it and you'll be capable of firing. So let me bring the gun up to the camera. Let's see if you can hear the click. Right there. Right there, that gun has completely rotated and is ready to fire. Now, I'm aiming and I fired it off. There's no movement in the revolver. So the idea that a revolver can only be fired with a full-length pull is not true. You just find that sweet spot in your gun. Keep aiming, holding, no different than if you had cocked the revolver, and then when you're ready, slowly squeezing and release. That's how you shoot a hammerless revolver accurately at distance. Let's get over on the range. So here we are, we're about 25 yards from that silhouette. That's 12 inches across and 24 inches up and down. I'm gonna take some shots at that. But remember, overall, the beauty of these weapon systems, right, is in the pocket. You walk into a store, you don't need a gun, leave it in your pocket, take your money out, buy your stuff, pick up your stuff, put your hands in your pockets on the cold night and walk out. I'm completely armed and ready to fire this gun to full capacity to defend my life. That's a great thing about a hammerless revolver. But I want to show you that system that I was just talking about to find the sweet spot. Dropping the full moon clip in there. 25 yards, find the sweet spot, and slowly click it off. Kind of high up in the neck. Lower down the abdomen. So there you go, 25 yards. You find that sweet spot. You'll hear that cylinder click. Click, you'll feel it, you can hear it. And if you train yourself, right, we talk about training, it's not a lot. Just take all the bullets out of the gun, sit on the couch in the quiet and listen and feel it. And it's really important that you feel it as well, because hearing it isn't always gonna work. If you're in an environment where it's loud and now you're depending on your life, you wanna feel that if you've gotta take that distance shot. Up close and personal, revolvers are incredibly reliable and they function without a problem. Accuracy though, 25 yards, find the sweet spot, you're still gonna put those rounds into the silhouette at 25 yards and even distance beyond that if you've got better eyes than I do. There you go. Keep safe. Now let's see if I can hit it and go a little bit faster. The problem isn't the gun, it's my old man eyes. I guess the old man still got it.